Hello friends. So in this video I'm going to talk about Kashmir Shaivism. So it comes up a lot if you're interested in non-duality. There are certain teachers who come from a lineage where they included a lot of Kashmir Shaivism. So we have Rupert Spira. His teacher was Francis Lucille, and his teacher was Jean Klein, and Jean Klein included aspects of Kashmir Shaivism, bodywork, not so much visualizations, but basically, so a lot of these non-dual teachers we have now, the good ones anyway, are heavily influenced by Kashmir Shaivism. Now, okay, so Kashmir Shaivism and Advaita Vedanta are both non-dual philosophies. So one big difference is that in Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is pure consciousness, is what Bernardo Kastrup would call phenomenal consciousness. So it's just conscious. It's not meta-conscious in the words of Bernardo Kastrup. So it's not aware of being aware. It's just awareness, this pure, untouched, unchanging awareness, eternal. And we need, in order to feel that we are conscious, there is an aspect of the subtle body, an aspect of our mind, that the individual mind, that reflects this consciousness back to us. And that's what we see. When we feel that I'm conscious, it's because we have this reflection back. So I'm aware of being aware because I see the reflection. In reality, the awareness is like in deep sleep. You're not aware of being aware because the mind is not there to reflect the consciousness back to you. So it's this phenomenal consciousness. Now, in Kashmir Shaivism, the Shiva is the equivalent to Brahman. Shiva is consciousness and the ultimate reality. But it is already conscious of being conscious. It's already aware of being aware. That's why we hear Rupert Spira saying aware of being aware a lot. So at least in the beginning, I know he moved away from that. I heard him say that he moved away from that. So in Kashmir Shaivism, Shiva is aware in itself, and it doesn't need any sort of reflection to realize that it's aware. Another thing is that the world in Advaita Vedanta is seen as an illusion. We see a rope on the floor and we mistake it for a snake. The rope gives its existence, lends its being to the snake. There is something there, definitely, but we mistake the rope for a snake. And what we see as the world is an illusion in that we're looking at a snake when in reality it's a rope. So everything we see is an illusion. There's only one thing, and it's Brahman, and that's you. Now, in Kashmir Shaivism, they don't see the world as an illusion. They see the world as the manifestation. So they have Shiva and Shakti. So Shakti is the energy of Shiva, the manifest world, and it's the same thing. So the world is not an illusion. The world is actually a divine play, and we see this actually in the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, who, although he was an Advaitin, he also had Tantra teachings. He had a female guru who was a Tantra teacher, and Kashmir Shaivism is a type of Tantra. So because of this, it has, if you look it up on the internet, you'll find lots of things like visualizations, breathing techniques, body work, mantras and things like this, and it's very extremely complex and has lots of these kinds of activities which are actually dropped to some degree by our Western non-dual teachers. So Jean Klein did continue with some body work, but now we get to Rupert Spira, and he does have some analysis of your body and feeling, how do I feel my hand, and which maybe I'll make some videos about later. But there is this this aspect has been dropped a bit. All the mantras and the visualizations, the imagining certain chakras and things like this, all this richness has become more minimal as it was brought to the West, and probably because it's so complex. Very few people know all the details. Personally, I'm not so interested in that aspect. I'm more interested in the self-inquiry, which can be supported with both aspects. Of course, we won't know probably unless we get enlightenment whether the consciousness is self-reflective automatically. But the fact that we fall asleep and there is no consciousness, Rupert Spira would still say that it's a awareness of absence rather than absence of awareness. But there is also this element that you're not actually aware of being aware when you're asleep, are you? So I've got a feeling that maybe the pure teaching of Advaita Vedanta it could be the ultimate truth, and the idea of the world as the manifestation of God through Shakti and divine in itself. I just changed my mind. No, I think that's true as well. There you go. I can't decide. See can you decide? Tell me what you think in the comments. So I do think that actually the world is divine and probably is more real than just an illusion, but I keep jumping between the two. I don't know if I ever get enlightenment, maybe I'll tell you what that would be. That would be incredible. Anyway, so that's the idea. That's the difference between Advaita Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism. Swami Sarvapriyananda is in the Advaita Vedanta camp, of course. Rupert Spira is more in the he's sort of one foot in both camps, I assume, because he doesn't really follow all this old tradition of certain mantras and certain visualizations of chakras and things like that. But they're both really interesting to explore. I hope that was cleared up some things. I'm sure you've heard of Kashmir Shaivism and Tantra before, so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.